Happy Monday morning, everybody. This is TRS Live, and I am your host, Matt Trotz. Hopefully, you had a phenomenal weekend. You got to enjoy some of the beautiful weather, depending on where you lived. I hope the weather was beautiful. Myself, celebrated my wife's birthday. We grilled out a little bit, did some fun stuff outside, did a little kayaking, did a little golfing yesterday, so it was a fun-filled weekend in the Trotz house. How was your weekend? Let us know in the comment, in the chat, because remember there is a chat line that is always open. If you have any questions or concerns or any comments you'd like to make, go ahead and chat with me. The producer of the show will relay your questions and your comments to me, and I will do my best to get them answered during the show live. So let's catch up where we're at here on TRS Live. So TRS Live is a live shopping show where we run a bunch of great deals, and our number one goal here is to save you a bunch of money. And what I try to do is bring either in some guests or go on some of the history of the products, some of the uses of some of these products to help you gain a little more knowledge and feel that you are making a trusted purchase when you are on the realshot.com website. And just so you know, that's where all this stuff is available that we are talking about. On the category side, depending on which way you're looking at it, the left-hand side of the screen, I guess you could say, there's a TRS Live Shopping tab on the bottom. If you click on that, it'll bring up some of the products that we've talked about in the past, and then it'll also bring you up a calendar of what's to come here on TRS Live. We do TRS Live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays mornings, and we started at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we get shared to all of our TRS platforms. That's the Real Shot Facebook page, that's the Real Shot YouTube channel, that's TRS Live, obviously, on our Facebook, and on our YouTube channel as well. And also on, well, let's not forget about it, Fix TV. What is Fix TV, you may be asking? Fix TV is the video on demand app that was created for like head-to-head fishing, the Guided Life, the Jake Jacobs show, and there's a bunch of other shows coming at you. But if you are a subscriber to Fix TV, first and foremost, thank you so much. But let's give you a little insight on how you can gain some more savings by being a Fix TV member. So you subscribe to Fix TV, it's $5.99 per month. Well, right away what's going to happen once you get your email process all set up, you create a login to the Real Shot website, you are going to get a $5 credit monthly. That is monthly as long as you are a subscriber to Fix TV. $5 credit will be added to your account on the realshot.com website for you to use, well, for TRS Live. So you use it, get that $5 credit as long as you are a Fix TV subscriber. The other cool thing about it, because we're so much into saving you money, is anytime you refer a friend and they also become a Fix TV subscriber, you will gain a month free of viewing. So how do you do this, you may ask? On the bottom of the Fix TV website, that's fixphyxtv.com, there is a FAQ portion, frequently asked question portion, on the bottom of your screen. Click on that. That's going to help answer any questions, or it is going to send you to an email where if you have more in-depth questions, we can get those answered for you. So to me, it's a no-brainer, and basically 99 cents a month if you, well, it is 99 cents a month as you get a $5 credit. And if you refer a friend, basically you can have a year-long subscription to Fix TV platform for 99 cents if you continue to refer a friend and they become a member. So we got that out of the way. So remember, go to Fix TV if you also have any questions. Let's get right into today's show. So last week we kind of brushed on some turkey hunting stuff, some insect control. Now we're going to go with a broad world of fishing again today, and we're going to start out with the well-known high-performance quality bait here from Salmo. So we've talked about Salmo in the past here on TRS Live, and let's kind of give you some back history of Salmo. So Salmo is manufactured in Poland, and what that allows them to do, as you look at some of the colors that are on your screen right now, is high quality control, product control, quality control. This is one of the most well-known baits for trolling for walleyes in particular, is what I'm going to refer to most of this show. but it catches a bunch of different baits. Salmo has a wide variety of lures, and they are very much well known for the size that you've seen on your screen right now, the number 4. And that's what we're referring to here. So normal price of a Salmo is $6.99 on therealshot.com. Well, right now, $5.99, so we're knocking $1 off that price. And let's talk about some of the colors. So the all popular on the Lake Winnebago system, probably a lot of other different systems, is Viking. That is one of the most sought after colors that I know personally, as I worked at the Real Shot selling it. There is Viking, one of the best colors you can possibly look for trolling on the Lake Poygan, Lake Winnebago, so on and so forth. Supernatural Shiner, Dalmatian, another one of those hard hitters out there as well. River Craw, Black Tiger, Red Tail Shiner, Silver Blue Shad, Beetle, Gold Floral Perch, Green Tiger, and Hot Perch are the colors that you have seen and are seeing on the wheel here. Some of the great looking Salmo colors, some of the great looking baits, and by far one of the most sought after baits on the Lake Winnebago system, as well as I'm sure Erie. It's a popular one. The nice thing about the Salmo is it runs really true. They're easy to tune if you do need to tune them a little bit, but they have the great action that everybody knows and loves. And I mean, when I go back to when I first started at the Real Shot, that's almost 10 years ago now, training at the Oshkosh location, the very first door, the customers that came into the door and were looking for the Salmo products. We had huge quantities of Salmos on hand because it was the #1 bait at the time. That's 10 years ago, and it's still a proven bait to this day. For those who are head-to-head fans, you just watched, we got done on a Lake Winnebago event, Bago Beatdown Part 2, and the Salmo was a huge player in that event. There was a lot of anglers out trolling, covering that wide variety of area with the, the mud, the rocks, so on and so forth that Lake Winnebago offers. And majority of them are using the smaller profile here with that number 4 Salmo, and the variety of colors too. There's a lot of things that people may overlook, but the custom or the true paint jobs that Salmo has done in this number 4 size is a awesome thing. So we could talk about some of the properties. So it's made from a high density foam, which is not flimsy like balsa, right? So a lot of crankbaits started with the balsa platform, right? The body was made out of balsa. What Salmo decided to do was use a high density foam. Number one, the biggest thing that's going to offer you is the durability. We all love that balsa for, that be able to float, be able to, give you some of that great action, but you have a number of, once balsa gets hit and it gets teeth marks in it, does it always swim the same? Well, what Salmo did is they created that high density foam that's going to give you that durability that's going to last fish after fish after fish. And I remember during that head-to-head event, the Bago Beatdown, Captain Keller was fishing that event, and we got a close-up view of his boat and some of his baits, and he had, I couldn't even tell what color it was anymore, but he had a Salmo tied on that was hanging over the side of his boat. And that thing, the paint was so beat up on it, you couldn't tell what it is, but he knew. I actually talked to him during that show. I said, talk about that one particular Salmo that we got to see. And he goes, that is my game day box bait. That is the one. I don't care the situation or whatever. I know that bait, for whatever particular reason, catches fish. And it still catches fish with literally no paint left to it. I mean, think about how long Captain Keller's been fishing. How many fish have had that bait in their mouth, whether it's the targeted species or northerns or perch or bass or whatever it may have been, and that thing is still proven. So the paint took abuse, but it also withstood the test. All right, so I'm getting word. Aaron, I'm going to need you to be a voice here at some point. So you're talking to Dylan Williams. Hey, good morning, Dylan. You're talking to this one here in the middle? Is this the one that Dylan's referring to? He just referred to some of the colors that we've talked about here with the Supernatural Shiner, Dalmatian, River Craw, Black Tiger, Red Tail Shiner, Silver Blue Shad, Beetle, Gold Floral Perch, Green Tiger, and Hot Perch are the colors that are $1 off right now. Normally $6.99, on sale for $5.99. But let's go back to that view here, Aaron. Let's just show, or go to the big screen here, and let's just show some of these colors again. I'll kind of tip this up. You can kind of see as they're sliding all around. Maybe it goes back to your view of the wheel before, but you can just see there's some great looking colors on here. Again, we can hit them up. Viking, Supernatural Shiner, Dalmatian, River Crawl, Black Tiger, Red Tail Shiner, Silver Blue Shad, Beetle, Gold Floral Perch, Green Tiger, and Hot Perch. And that's the thing, you know, Dylan's commenting in the chat. Dylan, what is your go-to Salmo? I know you're an avid walleye fisherman. And what are your, you know, besides Dylan, what are your favorite colors out there for Salmo? And is one of them, in particular, the one that's on sale right now? And again, these are all on sale at the Real Shot website. It's www.therealshot.com. All the ordering information is on the screen right now, so you can see that. Go ahead and type those numbers or those letters into the screen and take advantage of the savings. But let's go back to, you know, what they're made of. So you know, high density foam. It's going to give you the durability. It's going to consistently give you that action that you know and you want. They also, you know, upgraded their bill a little bit, so you have a high performing bill. A lot of times with some of these baits, in order to get the actions, you know, the process from the bill to the body is not always the best, right? It can stand some abuse, but can it stand a year's worth of abuse? Well, Salmo did that. They figured that out when they went to this, you know, the bill system, the body system that you have on here, and it all runs true. Right, basically right out of the package. They're tank tested. They put a lot of time and effort into these bad boys, so you know that you're getting a high quality bait right out of the package. And at the savings that we're offering you right now, again, Fixed TV members, maybe this is your $5 credit you want to use. It's going to roll over here. The month of July is going to get started, so you're going to have a $5 credit coming at you again if you are a Fixed TV subscriber. But you know, walleyes, bass, perch. I mean, Salmo is so well known for the Hornet. That's what we're talking about today. But they have a lot of tested products that are out there. And the other cool thing about what Salmo does is they test it from anglers worldwide, not only just in the United States. They test anglers worldwide, and they get their feedback and they incorporate that into the baits that are either existing or baits that they're coming out with. They love the feedback, so they know that, hey, I am a satisfied customer with Salmo. I bought that bait. They listened to me. They did what we asked, and this is what you see, the end results here, especially in the Hornet. You know, these are a great selection here that are on sale today. Most of the time, a lot of the people we refer to, especially right here near and dear to us is the Lake Winnebago system, like to utilize the Salmo, and especially in this size, for trolling. That doesn't mean that's the only application for it. You could definitely crank this thing. This thing would be working good for crappies. I foresee you could probably catch some really nice crappies once they get suspended over, you know, they move into the late summer patterns. You could throw this for crappies. This would probably work really great for some river smallmouth, just cranking it off the rocks, that bill, that body style, you know, lightweight action, making smaller casts, cranking this thing in, still getting that bait to run right. And that's the thing too, is, you know, once this bait is running perfectly, whether you have to slightly tune it or it's perfect right out of the package, you know whether you're trolling at a low speed or a high speed, this thing is going to run really great, and it's going to give you the action that catches a lot of fish. And now again, that's the stuff I'm looking for. I want those testimonials. Share it to our pages. Hey, you know what? I saw Matt was talking about the Salmo Hornet. Here's some success pictures that we had with them. Here's, you know what? Here's the deal. I had this company's baits out. I actually found I had a Salmo in my box, put it on, and I ended up catching my limit that day, and I had supper for the family. Whatever it may have been. You know, this is an ideal trolling bait, but it doesn't mean that's the end-all be-all with it. You could probably cast with it. Well, not probably. I know you could cast with it, but there's a lot of different applications besides trolling it that would definitely work. So let's go over those colors again. So it's a Supernatural Shiner, Dalmatian, River Crawl, Black Tiger, Red Tail Shiner, Silver Blue Shad, Beetle, Gold Floral Perch, Green Tiger, and Hot Perch. And that's the other thing too, is they research, right? Knowing that the colors, why do you want these colors? Because they've been tested, they're proven. They know that in certain bodies of water, certain clarities, this is the bait to go with. This is the one that mimics the natural forage the best way. The color schemes that they have put together are the colors that you know and you want. I mean, just look at some of the colors that you're seeing on your screen right now. That one that just flew by, that Dalmatian, that is a hot seller on the Lake Winnebago system. And these are a hot bait to definitely take advantage of $1 off. So that code that you're seeing on the screen, if you are on the Real Shot website and you want to speed the process up, type in SHCB4. That's going to take you right to these Salmo Hornets. And the size 4, the most popular color. You can upsize, you can, you know, it's downsizing, speed it up, slow it down. I mean, there's certain things that this Salmo Hornet is going to do, but when the bite gets tough, this might be the thing that's going to trigger, you know, a limit. Or if you're in a tournament situation, it's going to help advance you into maybe a further rankings up the board. So trust and tried and true here with the Salmo Hornet. Again, one of the most popular trolling baits for the Lake Winnebago system that we absolutely carry. And we carry a wide variety of baits, but I know time and time again, a lot of anglers trust in the Salmo product, and we want you to do the same thing. That's why we're offering you that $1 off. So $5.99 is that price range. It's a great bait. Again, we'll hit those colors here as we kind of get ready to move into something next here, but the Viking, the Supernatural Shiner, Dalmatian, River Crawl, Black Tiger, Red Tail Shiner, Silver Blue Shad, Beetle, Gold Floral Perch, Green Tiger, Hot Perch is the wide selection of Salmos that are on sale. And it's one of the things, I don't know how long they're going to put these baits on sale for. All I do is talk about them. The sale's up to them, how long they want to run it for. So I wouldn't wait. Don't wait, right? I mean, I talk about this with pretty much every product on TRS Live. Is it's here today, it might be gone tomorrow. And at the prices that we're offering right now, the thing about it, everybody, is here's the deal. Why discount a hot topic bait like this during the time of year where this bait works the best? Well, that's the idea for this show. That's what we want to do for you. We want to help you not only be successful, but we want to save you some money. So that's the biggest thing I can tell you about TRS Live is this show is going to save you money. And this is not like the time for discounting stuff for these things, but we want you to be successful. So that's why we're discounting the Salmo Hornet right now. So again, $6.99 normal retail price, $5.99 is the sales price. You see it on your screen right now. SHCB4 is the code you're going to type into the realshot.com. If you have the fixed TV $5 credit yet, you know, basically at that point you're getting one of these baits for 99 cents. So that's a really great deal. Add a couple to the arsenal. If this is the time too, if you want to try something you've never tried before, maybe one of these colors that you see on here, you've been eyeballing it, and now is the time that you can go ahead and take advantage of buying 2 of them, because that's what you're going to do. You're not going to just buy one, because when you put it out when you put it back, right, and you're trolling it, and that one starts tripping, you're going to kick yourself in the butt that you didn't buy 2 or 3 of them. So take advantage of the savings that we have on the screen. Again, it's at therealshot.com. That code that you see right here is the way you're going to go right to these products. Click kitty clack, add them to the cart, but don't check out yet, because coming up next, we have some bass products that we're going to be coming up next here. We're going into the lifted jigs. SUP. It is the flipping jig in the 3/8 ounce, and all of those colors in that 3/8 ounce are on sale right now at therealshot.com. So we'll talk about lifted here as we go into our first commercial break, where we're going to come back, and I think I'm going to have a special guest for the lifted portion of this. So enjoy these commercials, everybody, and we'll be right back. It's Matt Trotz here with The Guided Life. We just met up with one of the guys from the crew, and he's like, they're on a hot track, so it's 104 high and get on these back roads and scream. Every year that I've been a part of that and I go to that class, I always learn something.
So these guys are going to join me, and the reason I asked these two guys in here is because we got Travis, who does a lot of public land hunting, and then Judd and I are private land, owners and hunters for the most part as well.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Hey, welcome back, everybody. TRS Live. I'm Matt Trotz. Now, joining me in here is Lance Kozik. Hey, buddy, how are you today?
Morning, Matt.
You looked down. You were ready for it. I knew it was coming.
I knew you were going to do it.
Hey, well, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I mean, it was windy, but got some stuff done around the house, organized the boat. Fair stuff going on.
I'm supposed to ask you, was your mic turned on? Aaron wants to know if your mic's turned on.
Yeah, it's turned on.
It's turned on.
Why, he can't hear me?
You said you're really quiet.
Oh.
Here, I'll just... It's good now. Hey, we're good, Lance. We'll get you really close.
Yeah,
hey,
right.
So I brought you in here today because I want to talk about some lifted jigs. But can we give like people that are maybe new to TRS Live, like why do we want to discount things right now when things are hard to find? These are the most sought after products. Like, why would we do that? It's all about the savings.
It is all about the savings. So what we're doing is, from the very beginning at the Reel Shot, we constantly are out looking for new products. We're looking for different things to add to our assortments. So we decide to go wide. If a new product comes out, we want to get it. We want to get it in the hands of our consumers, and that usually means putting it on sale or doing some kind of type of advertising with it, and that's where a lot of these products end up. So new to us, new product to the market. Lifted Jigs is not an old jig company by any means. I remember when they came out a couple years ago, what really put them on the map was, do you remember when the Ned rig became really popular? They came out with a Ned jig with an EWG style hook, extra wide gap hook, which took the market by storm. I mean, we sold hundreds of them. We decided, okay, Lifted Jigs is legit. Let's kind of expand that a little bit more, and that's how we came up with some of these products. Brought them in, started experimenting a little bit more, and then they made it on TRS Live because we want to showcase it. A lot of people may not have heard about this particular lifted jig, and this is a great opportunity to do it and also let people save some money.
Well, there you go. So that's a perfect answer. I couldn't have done it myself. So on the screen right now, Lifted Jigs. Excuse me, we're talking about the SUP, the flipping jig. It's a 3/8 ounce. Now, let's get first right into it. That SUP, do you know what that stands for?
That stands for Stand Up Presentation.
There you go. So the idea on it is if you put one of these, if I hold one of these, and I'll kind of show, I'll get it. It's got a flat head to the top of it. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when you're flipping this bad boy, obviously you want hook to be the first thing that the fish has got the advantage at, right?
Yep.
So that's what they did here, and then if it hits the bottom, it's going to stand right up, especially with some of the high quality plastics that are out there now. Some have the ability to float. That's going to get that bait to sit up properly on the bottom, in the weeds, along the wood, and that hook's going to be the first thing that fish is targeting.
Yeah, I mean, so we can kind of dive into a lot of the design features of this jig that make it so special and make it, something that's going to produce time and time again. Now, you touched on it already, Matt. So it does have a flat bottom to it, which you touched on. When that jig lands, it's going to want to stand up on that flat side. What this also does is allows it to skip better. So if you're skipping docks, it gives that jig a flat surface to hop across the water with, which makes it really versatile. So when you're throwing this in any kind of a cover, that jig with that flat head and the way it's shaped, it's gonna fall to the bottom a little bit more naturally. It's going to have a slower fall to it than something with more of an aerodynamic head.
Yep.
and it's going to be an extremely versatile jig that you can flip and cover, wood, all that kind of stuff.
So what you're telling me right now is this sounds like this is the perfect bait for the president of Dock Dingers United.
Yes, it should be. He should have a little badge or something with it all the time. Well, one thing I forgot to talk about too is if we can get close up on this, Aaron, you'll notice that the eye, you can't quite see it in there, but most of the time
when
you
find an orange one here.
Yep,
Let's go with the orange one.
most of the time when you look at a jig, you will see that the eye is up and down, so it's horizontal, right?
Yep.
Or I'm sorry, so it's vertical. This one's horizontal. So by doing that, it allows that jig to be pulled across a bottom surface a lot more consistent to keep it standing up and in a natural situation. Most of your swim jigs have more of an aerodynamic head to cut through the water, and then they turn that eye on the jig the other way so it swims better. This is kind of the opposite. You can still swim it in short distances like under docks and stuff like that, but they actually flip the eye the other way, makes it a lot better for dragging and making bottom contact with.
Right, and it just one thing that's nice about, like Lance said, with that is that's where you get a lot of your noise from.
Yep.
If you're going off of rocks or you bump it up against something, that's a great feature because that's going to be that head material is going to hit that rock or whatever it is, and it's going to hopefully trigger an extra bite. So the other thing too is while we have this view here, and I can kind of spin these around, they have a Duracoat premiums or a Duracoat finish to them, so you know that your paint is going to last on these things.
Yep.
A lot of times, a jig it's the right jig, whether if you're dock dingering it or you're catching on fish, because that paint's the first thing that chips off the head.
Yeah, I mean these jigs are meant to be thrown into stuff, whether it's wood, rocks, weeds, any of that kind of stuff. So they're going to get beat up, and having that Durachip just keeps them looking better longer. So.
Yep, premium silicone skirt that you see in, and I want to tell you colors, but it's every color. Every color in this 3/8 size right now is on sale, and we can hit up that right away. So normally $529 is the retail on these jigs. $429 is the price. You see where to order them on your screen. Look at the colors that are rotating around in that wheel right now. Man, those are some fish-catching colors.
Those are. I mean, that pretty much covers the whole gamut. Everything you need right there. You got colors to match. Match the hatch all year round. We talk about that all the time in fishing. So you have your crawdad imitators, your bluegill imitators, your minnow, crappie imitators. Pretty much anything that a bass or a predator fish is going to eat is imitated in one of these patterns that Lifted Jigs made.
So here's the deal. What a lot of people want to know is where they're assembled or where they're made or everything like that. So the cool thing about Lifted is it's handmade and hand assembled and packaged right in Michigan. So the nice thing about it is you're getting a made in the USA product. It's a family owned product. It's one of those. It's still they're growing big time, but you still get that family owned feel that you love on a great quality product, and that means that everything is tested, right? Whether it's a tournament angler or a weekend warrior. These colors, again, kind of like what we talked about with Salmo, these are the colors that you want because they've listened to what the people have said. And like Lance hit on, there's a lot of, you got your standards, right? Your black, blue, those are some of your go-tos, but just even changing up that skirt coloration. I mean, I'm looking at this one right here. This thing is definitely a bluegill killer that looks awesome. I mean,
yep, that kind of that peanut butter and jelly type color, that
color combo
in
there. Yep, some of them oranges, and the skirt material too, because it's a premium silicone skirting. It's very vibrant. Are you noticing that? Like the shimmer and some of the flake that's in it. It looks really, really nice.
A lot of attention to detail, and as you keep on moving through this jig too, I had the chance to kind of playing around with this a little bit. It comes with a mustad hook, which again vital for pitching a jig into any kind of a covered dock or just bass fishing in general. You're going to be pitching this jig with 50, 60 pound line, a little bit heavier, kind of getting in some of those close combat situations. So you're going to need a stout hook. They put a nice mustad hook on here, which I was playing around with it. I mean, it's going to take a lot of force to kind of bend that, which is vital to any kind of a flipping jig. They also have their soft plastic keeper on there,
which is really nice.
Yep, kind of hugs those tails on if you want to use like a craw. Like I think the other week we had the Zoom craw. Yep. So that would be a perfect thing to kind of pair with this, and it's gonna hold that trailer on there so you can catch a lot of fish with it and not have to worry about adjusting your bait every time. But you'd be a little bit more efficient, a little bit little bit quicker on the opportunities when you see them. So,
well, I mean, we're saving you money on, like Lance said, on the Zoom products and on the lifted jigs, but that's one of those things that when you're catching a bunch of fish, the last thing you want to have to worry about is replacing your plastics all the time. Not only like the Zoom stuff that we talked about is durable, but it's yet soft enough. But lifted, by putting that nice keeper on there, you know, you're going to get 1 or 2 more fish out of that bait than maybe you would with some of those other keepers on the market right now. And that Ultra Point mustad hook, I mean, that's the go-to hook for some of that flipping situations that you're referring to.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good, sharp, strong hook. You're going to be able to, you know, get this if it gets hung up on a stick or a branch or a dock or anything. You give it a couple tugs, it's not going to lose its shape. You're going to be able to use it a lot longer than you would some of the other hooks on the market. I also had a chance. One thing I do, I don't know why I do it, Matt. When I get a jig with like a keeper on it or any kind of a weed deflection, I'm always pulling on these, and these are in here good. Because how many times have you been like had a jig where all of a sudden in your tackle box and you know you're reaching your Plano and it's missing a couple of these little these prongs down there, but these are on there good, so they did a good job with that too. So it just from feeling this and kind of doing, you know, a little bit of research on it, it's a very quality, it's a very good made jig. I mean, it's something that you're going to be able to beat up and abuse a little bit and catch a lot of fish on.
Yeah, it is definitely it's a heavy duty weed guard fiber that they made it out of it. And the nice thing is we've talked about it with Kyle Carpenter on the show before too, is like the ability to customize your stuff, right? Kyle said sometimes the first thing he does is he trims that weed guard. Now maybe you don't need to with this one. It's one of those things where you have one, you fish it the way it is right out of the package with your favorite trailer on it. Maybe you add a little spike it or something to the skirt, you know, but then you realize, okay, you know, maybe I do want to trim it. Well, you have that option to customize these things, and that skirt is on there very well. There's a really nice banding system up to the top that's going to help hold this premium silicone skirt to the head. And with the design of this head, this is like Lance and I were referring to. This is the design on this head that you don't really see in a lot of the other jigs that are out there. This is one where so often when we're working here, Lance, we're like, I want one thing to do everything. Well, really, in hindsight, they don't make things like that, right? Like everything is specific to a certain application. But
100%.
Lifted is trying to do that with this jig, with that ability for that stand-up presentation, with that flat portion of the head also allows you to skip this thing a lot. So this is the perfect jig if you are getting it, say you're breaking into the bait caster world, the flipping world, the you know, the skipping world. A jig like this, savings like we're telling you right now, this is going to help you build confidence in the skipping. Because how often have you been out, like Lance and I are fishing together, and you see that perfect dock, right? And you want to get up underneath there, but you're a little nervous to try it because you're afraid that, hey, you know what, I just joined Dock Dingers United because I skipped it off. Or there's people up on the shoreline at their house, and you see that perfect pontoon opening. And you don't want to make the dong.
It is kind of weird. And I don't know if I'm the only one that does it, but when I come up to that perfect morning on the water and start looking at some of those docks, I kind of peer in the windows a little bit. Like, is he sitting there? Is he drinking his coffee? You think you hear this? Maybe the TV's on a little bit louder. You skip one under there. But yeah, you're right. You're worried about doing that. And, you know, sorry for anybody that owns a pontoon or a really nice dock. I mean, it happens. It's
well, the other thing about it is, do you skip the metal or like literally skip them, like breeze over the metal docks just because you don't want to make the noise? You're like, there's a beautiful metal dock right here, but there's a shady looking wood dock, and I know that wood dock makes a lot less noise when I hit it.
It's going to be a little dulled noise when you hit it. The same thing with like, you know, pontoons. You see a nice tri-pontoon, 20-something feet. You know when you hit that, it's going to echo across the lake. So sometimes, you know, you got to pick and choose your battles out there. Like, is that fish worth it? Most of the time, yes.
Right.
But there's sometimes, you know, if there's somebody standing right there, you might just flip something in the other direction quick. So.
Long story short, with the design of this head, right, it's going to maybe give you a little extra confidence. It's going to teach you a couple things about the skipping process. I mean, you can YouTube videos all day long, but nothing's going to really show you how to do it until you get on the water and actually go do a little dock skipping yourself or skipping it under some overhanging limbs. So that's one thing. If this jig could add a little advantage to you out on the water, why not give it a whirl? And this might turn out to be your next favorite jig, your new favorite jig after you try it a couple of times. The biggest thing, we can tell you that the colors are going to catch fish. We can tell you that the Ultra Point must-add hook is the thing. The heavy weed guard, the Duracoat paint finish is everything you need. But unless you are confident in the bait that you're trying, you know, are you going to fish it as effectively as the one that you know is proven, right? So this is the opportunity at us saving you, what is it, $1 like we referred to, saving you $1 a jig. Try it. This might help you, number one, because we're saving you, but this might help turn into your number one confident bait. And you're like, hey, I actually saved money on it. And I bought a couple extra ones just because it was such good savings that now this is my new go-to jig. I can give the other ones away to my kids or whatever I want to do. I'm trusting in the Lifted brand.
Yeah, if you're kind of new into it, or if you're experienced, if you're new into it, let's talk about, like, you don't need to go out and buy a brand new setup to do this. If you have a medium heavy rod, most of the time that's going to work well for this. Something with a bait casting reel on it. You could also throw this on a heavy rod, 3/8 ounce, one of those really good weights that you can use, you know, under the docks like we talked, or when those docks run out, you can keep on fishing that down the shoreline. So this is something that you don't have to go out and buy a lot of equipment on. Like, if you are interested or thinking about, you see all the guys on TV, you watch all the videos, how cool is it when they skip that jig right where they want it? This is the one that you're going to want to practice with. This is what you're going to want to start with. And you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of fancy equipment or anything like that. If you have a bait casting reel, a medium heavy, you know, you're in business. You're out there with fluorocarbon or braid line, and you're practicing.
Well, and the 3/8 is the perfect size, like you were saying, Lance, too, because it might give you your fall rate might just be ideal, right? You're not on a super light side, you're not on a super heavy side. It's that size that's right in between. It's right in the middle, right in that sweet spot. So it is the multi-purpose jig, and because it's got that heavy must-add hook in it, you could go from throwing it around docks or throwing it around light brush or grass, right? Maybe you're into grass, to next thing you know, your pattern is trying to change as the days progress, and now you're more on that wood. You know, now you know your fish are on the wood. So this, you don't have to all of a sudden cut, retie. Maybe you have to because the color pattern has changed as well, but you could still fish this same jig in a bunch of different situations and still have the confidence in it and not have to worry about, oh man, now they pulled off, they're in the grass, so I gotta retie because I need this and this and this and so on and so forth. With this one jig here, this is like a utility jig, I can go from grass to wood to docks to, you know, whatever it may be at that situation, or just swimming it as well.
Yeah, straight retrieve, little pops back and forth to the boat, like
Alabama Shake.
The Alabama Shake. Like you said, it's a utility jig. It's something that I think if you would ask a lot of bass fishermen, they probably have one of these tied on all year round, because this isn't a spring, summer, fall bait. This is an all year round bait. Depending on the color and the body of water, you could have a pitching jig like this on all year round and catch fish pretty much anywhere you go in the country, as long as it's not frozen water, you know.
Well, and with the way the head design is, you hit on it earlier, you could drag this thing too. You could almost football style this one as well. If the fish are a little bit deeper and you want to drag it across, or you got to slow things down a little bit, again, this utility style jig here that Lifted has created is the perfect jig. And by us saving you $1 per jig, that's going to, you know, help you add more to your tackle box. The other thing too that maybe we don't hit on enough, that just makes it a lot easier when I go to the pocketbook and I have to explain, hey, you made another purchase at the Reel Shot? Yeah, but here's the other thing I'm going to tell you is I just saved some money by watching TRS Live.
Yeah, I mean, like you hit on it too. We run a lot of sales, right? That 10-15% off sale. That's still not getting you this deal. So in order to really take advantage of the best deals we have, this is the show you're going to want to watch. And products like this are going to be your best bet to come and, you know, get a high quality product for the best possible price. $1 off a jig is something that I can vouch for. We don't do that a lot. We don't do $1 off anything in this economy right now. But to do it on these jigs is something that, you know, we're only doing for shows like this, which really makes it even a better deal and a better time to take advantage of this and stock up and save some money.
Get a made in the USA product right now. I mean, all colors too. This is, again, we hit on it with Salmo before, is I think that's our new favorite word, hit on it. I think that's the go-to.
What's the new favorite word?
Hit on it. Like we've literally hit on that a couple different times.
Right. Hit on
but
it.
you can take advantage of some of these different colors that you never maybe wanted to try, right? Like I've always seen it. I thought about trying it. I mean, again, you're looking at them on the screen. This is the time right now to take advantage of getting a couple of those, because I'm personally looking at some of these, the shimmer, the shake, the sheen that you're seeing on the screen right now is awesome. I mean, it looks really good. The skirt coloring, this is a new one that I'm going to have to give a whirl. I've tried some of the lifted products, like you were saying, that Ned, that weedless Ned.
Yep.
But this jig, I'm not a big jig guy at some points. I'm more of a Texas rig, kind of guy. But this is one that I'm going to definitely add to the arsenal for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret jigs catch big fish, and these have, like you touched on too, not only are the colors great, but they're full skirts too, which really gives it a nice pulsing action through the water, kind of makes that flare out, gives it a little bit bigger profile. If you don't want the bigger profile, like you said, you can make little tweaks to that and kind of, let the fish tell you what they want. But again, I can't get over some of these colors that they put on there. I mean, all the heads match the skirts too, which is, you don't get that in every jig too, so that's another premium feature that Lifted added to there as well.
And while you're on the Real Shot website, if you're shopping around and you're looking for some trailers, we did hit on Zoom products a couple weeks ago. Maybe these Zoom products, the crawl, or some of the other Zoom quality baits that we've talked about would be the perfect complement to this. So check it out. It's on the category side of the Real Shot website. It's TRS Live Shopping is what it says. You click on that. That brings you to the calendar of past and coming up shows.
Yep.
It also brings you right to the product list. So as you see there, whether it's in stock or it's not in stock because it's sold out, right, you've got a look at the products that we have seen. Is there still the capabilities for like the email notification when that product comes back in?
Yeah,
Some of that stuff?
You can certainly do it. That's something that sale price might not last forever on there. But you can still sign up. If you like it, if you tried it out, you're like, you might be kicking yourself because you didn't order enough at the beginning. But yes, you can still, if we're going to carry that product, you can still sign up for that email notification. It's actually going to send you a little an email to your inbox saying, hey, this is back in stock with a link. Click it, 1-2 clicks, you got some coming right to your door. The guys in the warehouse have been getting orders out extremely fast lately. I mean, we're talking a day turnaround from order to package. So it could be at your house, really soon, in just a couple days. So.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is we have it right now. I mean, you're looking at it right now. We put it on the show because we have an inventory. It doesn't mean we have a large inventory of a lot of this stuff. It means we just have some in stock. And with the way you're looking for things right now, you need to take advantage of them being here and readily available. And if this is something that today being Monday, you need it up by the weekend. It sounds like the inventory in the warehouse is good enough and they're shipping fast enough that this is something that potentially could be in your hand by Friday and you could fish it on Saturday.
That's a good point. With holiday weekends and summer and busy times, earlier in the week you can order, the better off you are. So, place an order today when you're seeing this, you're guaranteed to get the deal, get the stock, and then you have a really good chance at getting it in your hands for the weekend, hopefully when you have some time to go fishing. Right.
Well, the other thing with that, Lance, is you could also in-store pick up this, right? You're shopping online, and say you're coming through the Fox Valley area, you want to see the Real Shot. You could also click that in-store pickup tab and pick it up in-store. And then while you're here, talk to some of the staff that's around. Say, hey, you know what? I took advantage of this awesome deal. What are some of the go-to plastics out here? There's a lot of go-to plastics that we carry. I mean, I'm looking at the sales floor right now, and I'm like, holy man, you drool a little bit when you look at the not only the assortment, but the different brands, everything like that, the different shapes, sizes. You want some stuff that's like super elastic. You want some stuff that's super soft. We have it all. So in-store, pick them up. Pick them up. Go get them in the store.
Hit on them
talk
and
to the staff. Pick them up truck. Yep, come on down. Anyways, a hand assembled, made in the USA, right next door in Michigan. It's a great quality product. You see every product from Lifted Jigs in the 3/8 size right now is on sale. So it's $5.29 is the normal retail price. $4.29 is the sale price. And again, I don't know how long that's going to be on sale, so one thing I can tell you to do is do not wait. Take advantage of some of these great colors that not only you see here, but you see on the Real Shot website. I'm like, man, you see like some of these matte head finishes too? These things look deadly.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be contrast. That's going to be things to use in different types of water clarities and stuff like that. So.
That reminds me of the Max Scent stuff we've talked about. That matte finish is what the Max Scent is known for. So why not do it in a jig? Well, Lifted decided they wanted to. So again, Duracoat Premium, Duracoat finish. You got that premium silicone skirt, that Mustad Ultra Point hook. It's a super flipping and pitching bait, but you can skip it, you can swim it. It's the utility jig of all utility jigs.
It is.
Take advantage of the savings on your screen right now. It's LJSFJ is the code to take you right to that product on the Real Shot website. I mean, again, it's that stand-up jig presentation that everybody knows and loves. Get them at therealshot.com, but we are not done yet. We still have some great products coming up here. So coming up next, you hit on it, Lance, literally hit on it. You said, how about a medium heavy flipping rod to throw these 3/8 ounce jigs?
Yep.
That's coming up next, Duck It series.
You got a special guest maybe coming in?
I might have a guest, yeah.
All right.
It's Matt Trotz here with The Guided Life. We just met up with one of the guys from the crew, and he's like, they're on a hot track, so it's 404 high and get on these back roads and scream. Every year that I've been a part of that and I go to that class, I always learn something. So these guys are gonna join me, and the reason I asked these two guys in here is because we got Travis, who does a lot of public land hunting, and then Judd and I are private land, owners and hunters for the most part as well. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
Welcome back.
What's up, man?
Hey, buddy. Kyle Carpenter's joined me. Here it is.
What's up, man? How are you?
Kyle is in here because Lance just left. We were talking about that 3/8 size, that lifted jig, that SUP, the stand-up jig, right? But then Lance was talking about how maybe a medium heavy rod
Got to have a rod to throw that jig, right?
would be the perfect rod. Well, it just so happens we are talking about the Duck It Pro Series. This is a casting rod, a 7'3" medium heavy with a moderate fast.
7'3" medium heavy is the perfect rod for fishing jigs. This is a very versatile rod, but my favorite action, 7'3", 7'4"-ish, medium heavy to heavy depending on the cover. Medium heavy for all around, because you can skip this, you can swim this, you can do a lot of different presentations with this rod, with a jig, with a Texas rig. You could throw a spinnerbait on this, you could throw a topwater on this, you could do a lot of things with this.
So, like, that was one thing that we tried to answer before, right? Like, a lot of people are looking for, I need one thing to do everything. Well, in this world of fishing, like that medium heavy rod,
Yes.
it sounds like that is the rod that can do a wide variety of things.
It can. If you're in the market and you want to buy your first bait casting rod, this is a great rod for that. The price is right. The action will allow you to do everything you want to do. If you want to use braid on it, you can. If you want to use fluorocarbon on it, you can. If you want to use it as a topwater rod and use monofilament, you can. It's very, very versatile. You could have this rod in your boat, a whole fleet of these rods, and do every technique that there is in bass fishing.
They look pretty sweet too. This is the Ducket. So this is the Timmy Horton edition right here. This is the Pro Series. Again, it's a 7'3". You see the prices on the screen right now. You're going to save around $30. I'm sorry, $20 on that price. It's run $179.99. Normally $150 is what you're going to get it for. $149. But this, so Boyd Ducket, right, is a creator of Ducket.
It is
rods.
$30. You were right the first time.
I know. I kind of went cross-eyed for a moment. I was thinking about, as I was talking about, I was thinking about Boyd Ducket won the 2007 Bassmaster Classic.
Yes, you did, in his home state.
In his home state. So, I mean, this guy, Boyd Ducket, he's well known in the bass fishing industry. He's the owner of the MLF. I mean, the guy does a lot for the industry. But for him to come out with the Ducket line of rods, reels, I mean, you know that's something that he's put a lot of time and effort into creating that stuff.
Yeah, they've been around a long time too. Ducket rods, I don't remember the year they came out, but when they came out with a vengeance, and they took the market by storm. They had some of the best anglers on tour using their rods. This is a Timmy Horton edition. I know everybody knows who Jacob Wheeler is. He's got a line of rods as well.
We actually carry those.
Yeah, we do carry them online on the website as well. Ducket has come out with a bunch of great products. Like you said, they look good. I mean, white on white. This series is a sharp looking rod. They use high-end cork, so the cork isn't going to flake apart on you right away. You know, it's going to hold up over time if you treat it. So rods are durable. They have micro guides on them, and lightens the rod, balances out a little better with some of the lighter reels.
Yep.
You know, with the heavier reels of years ago, you wanted a big guide set. You know, now with the lighter reels, you can get away with a lighter guide set, and that's the point of that.
So it was 2009 is when they actually started coming out with the rod. So that was 2 short years after he won the Bassmaster Classic. And you were hitting on, so we talked about Timmy Horton, like anglers like Kelly Jordan, Gary Klein, Dean Rojas, you know, Timmy Horton, and then Brent Myers are some of the high-end anglers that trust in the Ducket material. And that's what thing that Boyd did too, is he trusted in them for the feedback on what blank do you want to see, what guides like you referred to. I mean, the reel seed, all that stuff is, he got the pros knowledge. The guys are on the water almost 360 days a year.
Well, and he's not naive enough to think that his opinion's the only way, right? So that's why they do that. They get all the opinions. Every angler is a little bit different, and they like rods a different way for different techniques. And, you know, getting them opinions and building what everybody wants is very, very smart.
Well, and when I was researching Boyd, I mean, this guy was one of those ones from, he went fresh out of high school, he got a job, and then he ended up being the owner of that company. It was an automotive company. And then he turned that company into, you know, a big time successful, I think it was like a rental place he turned it into. And then he turned it into more money and more money and more money. Yep. And then he realized that, you know, I'm not only a bass fisherman, I love it, but I want to continue to bring more and fun stuff out to the bass fishing world. So Boyd is he's very in tune with, you know, what not only his anglers want, but just everybody wants. Whether it's the rods, the reels, you know, the things that he puts his time and effort into, you know it's going to be a quality product. Otherwise, the reel shop won't carry it.
Yep, exactly. These rods come with a 3-year from the date of purchase warranty. With Ducket rods, I own some myself. If you do have a quality issue, they take care of it. Every time I've ever had an issue with one, it's never been a problem getting it taken care of. So.
Well, and that's the thing. So we talked about warranty with some of the other rods. Now that's a manufacturer warranty. So
Correct.
Most of the rod companies, they want you to go through them, right? There might be a process. They're going to ask you some questions, so on and so forth. But yeah, so they hit on that warranty, which is a great warranty. But those are manufacturer's warranties. So if you purchased it online here at the Reel Shot and you get it and it breaks somehow, you have to contact Ducket directly.
Right. Like I said, customer service at Ducket, they're right out of Alabama, I believe Gunnersville. They're super quick, fast turnarounds if you do have an issue with quality.
So that medium heavy, can you kind of talk about like line partnering with that, depending, let's say you're throwing that 3/8 ounce flipping jig that we just talked about, the
Yep.
SUP from Lifted. Talk about your go-to line, whether it's braid or floral.
Depending on what cover I'm fishing,
Let's say grass.
if I'm just flipping grass, I'll go do 15 to 20 pound.
Okay.
Depending on the thickness of the grass. If it's milfoil, where it's a little thicker, stronger grass, when that fish gets you into it, you want to have some body of your line. The medium heavy, I typically won't go anything over 20 with fluorocarbon. I typically don't use braided line on these either. I don't. A lot of guys do.
Yep.
I use a lot of fluorocarbon, just straight fluorocarbon. I don't use the braid to a leader. You can use braid on this. I would recommend right around that 30 pound, 30, 40, 50-ish pound. You don't want to overpower the rod too much,
Yep.
because you'll get yourself in a situation where the fish is just going to win. Because the rod's not going to be heavy enough and your line's going to be, in your mind, heavy enough to handle that situation.
Right.
But in the end, this is what's going to determine if you beat that fish out of that cover or not.
Correct. Yep. With the guides now, you hit on some of the benefits of the guides. Now, does that matter too on your line diameter or the line styling for where these micro guides might shine?
Not really. You can run braided line through them. You can run floral through them. You can run every type of line through them. The only thing I suggest if you are going to use a braid to leader is that you keep your leader knot out of the tip of the rod.
Okay.
With the micro guides, your knot's a little bigger, right? It's coming through them guides, and with it being micro guides, I'd recommend you keep that out. Like on my topwater rod, I do run a leader,
Yep.
but I only run about a 2-foot leader, just a big monofilament leader on the braid, just to keep that bait from hooking into itself on the braided line, because a braided line is so much more limber. With a prop bait or any kind of walking bait, sometimes when you cast, it'll get followed up into hooks. So you run a big heavy a monofilament, just a real short leader.
Yep.
Keep that outside of the
Keep
guides,
it outside
and you don't
the
have any
micro
issues.
guides. Yep.
Yep. And I do that rule of thumb with rods without a micro guide, is just keep that leader outside of the rod tip.
Really? And
Yep.
that's interesting, because you're not a real big, like you said, leader type of guy.
Right.
You like to either one. If I'm running braid, I'm running braid. If
Yes.
I'm running floral, I'm running floral. But I like that. It's a great tip. I mean, not only keeping it out here, but then I didn't even think about it on that topwater presentation. Helps eliminate those fouled hooks.
Yeah, you get that stiffer line. You get a little stiffer in front of the bait. It helps the bait walk a little better as well.
Okay.
You'd think that would be the opposite, where you want limber line to move with the bait, and you don't. You want that stiff line to move that bait more consistently.
So that's only with your hard baits? You don't do that on a frog, do you?
No, on a frog I do not.
Just go
on
straight braid?
topwater bait, topwater hooked baits. Like a Zara spook, even a whopper plopper. I do that. Anything with a blade on the front, like a devil's horse, definitely you want to run a leader onto that. Otherwise, you will get fouled up in the prop.
What is your go-to connection knot then? Have you tried with the FG?
I did. Up until this year, I always used the Alberto knot, and the Alberto served me very, very well. It's a great knot. It's fast to tie, very strong. Very rarely will fail on a hook set, anything like that. Pounding through the guides time after time after time, there's a little more maintenance with it. This year, I forced myself to learn the FG knot, and I should have did it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go days with the same leader.
And that FG knot is not only strong, but it allows it to go through the
Yes.
guides a little bit better.
Yep, it's a lot smaller in diameter. It's longer, but it's skinny. It's not short and bulky like the Alberto was. So
Yep.
the leader knot is really, really, really strong with the FG. I really like using that with light line. I haven't used it a whole lot with the heavier lines yet. That season for me is coming here up north, but I will definitely be using it for all my connections.
See, and that's what I like personally about having you in here is not only your knowledge on the rods, the application for the rods, but you're not afraid to give away some of the
Right.
tips. The tips that you give away are worth people watching this show alone, because of the fact is, hey, we're going to save you money. But, the insider's tips that you get, the things that sometimes we don't think about, you think about, and you're not afraid to tell people at home what that is.
It just comes with experience, right? I want our customer that buys this rod to have a great experience with it. In my experience, going through it all and overpowering rods and breaking rods on hook sets and blowing up hook knots and hooks and everything else comes with time doing it on the water. And if I can save you at home some of that stress and, you know, your dumb mistakes per se.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I want everybody's time on the water to be enjoyable. They keep coming back to buy more tackle and,
right.
you know,
well,
keep happy
that's
customers.
such a great point. I mean, you look at, maybe you're a beginner angler out there and you're like, $180 on this rod is a lot of money, right?
It is.
You have to work hard to make that investment. And I love that point from Kyle, because he's like, hey, this is an investment, whether it's at 100 or 150, what the sale price is. So why not get the insider's information to make sure that you're enjoying this product, that you worked hard. Maybe it's a young kid that's just getting into the fishing world.
Yep.
Did a lot of lawn cutting or did a lot of whatever, chores, whatever it may have been. This is, to him, this could be a $500 rod purchase. Like, this is in his mentality.
In his mind, yeah.
Yeah, I worked hard.
They're investments, and you have to treat these rods like an investment too. You know, the one thing I do on every rod and every reel now is I have the neoprene covers that I put over the top of all the rods and the reels, because they're not expensive. They are an investment for me. When I want to sell them, I want to be able to get what I got into them out of them,
Yep.
or as close to it as I can get, right? So keeping the finish on the rod and keeping everything looking good. Not only that, it protects the guides inside your rod lockers, in your trunk of your car, or in a back seat, wherever you have it, from moving it around. You don't want to be beating it up, because sliding this in your car, if you knock that on the back of the trunk lid or whatever, it's going to knock the insert out of it, and it's going to need to be repaired, or sometimes it's not even worth repairing.
Well, and the other thing too, that some people, like, we're talking about tips in here that are like something that maybe you overlook. The thing that I used to do in a day is hook your baits to your guides. Never do that.
Never
because
do that.
the material on the inside, that could add a nick, that could foul up the line, plus it damages the guide. By having a really nice hook keeper right here above the reel seat, and the nice thing for me, I like that placement of it, because your bait caster is going to end like right here, and that's a fluid transition. Then there's not a whole lot of area for that hook to get caught up on.
And these come with a closed clip, so it's still open on the end, so you can slide a hook into it. But when you cast, your line's not going to hook onto that.
Yep.
Some other rod manufacturers have just an open hook, where this does not close back down to the rod blank, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But these new clips Ducky uses are a lot nicer. You can clip anything on there. You can clip a drop shot weight per se onto this, not with this rod exactly, but you could clip just about anything you want in there, and it's going to hold tight.
Eric, are you able to see that if I hold that someplace? Because I think this is a very good point, like Kyle brought up, where this hook keeper is, and the design of this hook keeper too. I can hold this behind it too. Maybe that'll help. Does that help make it worse?
So it's basically a half moon that comes down just about to the rod blink, and then it jets back up. You can see it really good right there.
Yep.
So you don't have to put the hook of the rod or the hook of the bait through there. You can just hit it here and slide it in. So you can get all your baits ready. You can Texas rig your baits, have them ready for the tournament or fishing, and slide it in there and not unhook your bait from there.
Yep.
So that's, with tournament fishing, everything's all about efficiency. Something as minute as that makes a difference throughout the day. I don't have to take that 5 seconds, as minute as it sounds, 5 seconds to re-hook that Texas rig. It's already ready to go, pull it off and ready to flip it off.
Well, and the other thing too is the more you have to unhook that bait, you're lessening the plastic. You're weakening that plastic in that area. So I love this is clever to me. This is one thing, again, like a professional angler is one of the one person that thinks about that.
And that comes from Timmy Horton, Jacob Wheeler, all them anglers that
Gary
you mentioned.
Klein. I mean, look at Gary Klein.
They've been around forever. That's one of them small tips that they brought back. Said, hey, let's design this or make this or get this and put it on there. So
again, if you're looking at some of the information on the Reel Shot website, you can see, I'll go over some of the construction material. So we have the helical coil system, right? That's the helical coil. So carbon nanotechnology, tri-level graphite integration. I mean, there's so many things. The 2-layer carbon fiber. I mean, there's just a lot of things that went into this rod. And we're telling you right now, it's $150. That's a great price for that rod.
Yes, it is.
I personally, I think I just like the finish of that rod. I think it looks pretty sweet.
They look good.
It looks really, really nice. I mean, just that white's one of those things you're like, why would I ever want to fish a white rod? But this one looks awesome.
There's one benefit to having a light colored rod that people don't think of. And it's another one of these just dumb, tips that you just do over time.
I think I know what it is.
I will take a marker and write right on the rod blank what pound line I have on this rod. So, and when I put it on. So I know that when I grab this rod, all fluorocarbon looks the same. You can look at the diameter and some of it and try and figure out, is this 20 or is this 17?
Yep.
Some days I don't want 20, but I want 17. I can look right on that rod blank on a light colored rod and see what I put on there, and it does nothing to the rod at all. It does not hurt it whatsoever.
What about this heat? I mean, a black rod is going to obviously heat up a lot faster to the touch. I mean, the carbon's going to help eliminate that kind of stuff. That's just something dumb that I'm thinking of. I'm like, you know, if you grab that butt end of this rod and it's white like this, it's going to reflect the heat. And the other thing that it might be doing too is the fact that it reflects the sunlight. Is it's going to help the material last a lot longer. If you leave it out on the deck, you know, over a lot of days on the water, that could potentially save you some investment too.
Yep, they're sharp rods. Like I said, good quality cork. Another tip with any cork that you get on any rods is seal it. You want to seal the rods with a really good cork sealer.
Really?
Yep. Otherwise, it keeps your oils from your hands getting on it. Cork is very absorbent, so anything that gets on there will absorb into it, and then it will actually mold. You'll see the mold come out of the cork because the moisture comes out of it. Yeah, the moisture. Yep. You see them turn black. That's mold.
That's mold.
Yep. A lot of times they'll get dirty as well, but the mold will actually come out of there. And you can take some sandpaper and clean it right up, but if you seal it with a good sealer like a U40 sealer, they stay good, they stay clean, and the cork won't chip apart over time.
Man, so much savings on tips and tricks and everything like that, plus your rod price savings. Again, it's the Ducket Pro Series. It's a casting rod that's 7.3 medium heavy. It's the moderate fast. It is the perfect rod for the beginning angler, the angler that looks for a rod that can kind of do everything, and the angler that's looking to throw those 3/8 ounce lifted jigs that Lance and I just got talking about. This is a perfect rod. Plus, it's been proven by a lot of high-end performance anglers out there as well. Plus, boy, Ducket, 2007 Bassmaster champion. I mean, that's...
Yep, Lake.
I think he knows a little bit about it. So $179 is the normal retail price, $179.99. On sale right now for $149.99. Your code is DPSCR on the Reel Shot website. This is probably the perfect rod if you still have a $5 credit coming from being a Fixed TV member. Save yourself a little extra money. Plus, we'll get it out there. A 3-year manufacturer warranty if you got to go directly through Ducket for that. But it's a great looking rod, so take advantage of the savings. And I appreciate it, man. There's so much knowledge. I like standing here next to you because you just give away so much free information.
I like it. I love it.
So, all right, everybody. Coming up next, if you didn't know this, today is actually National Sunglasses Day. So how appropriate that we're going to be talking about Wiley X, and we're also going to be saving you some money about the Wiley X product. So coming up next, Wiley X sunglasses. Happy National Sunglasses Day. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. It's Matt Trotz here with The Guided Life. We just met up with one of the guys from the crew, and he's like, they're on a hot track, so it's 404 high and get on these back roads and scream. Every year that I've been a part of that and I go to that class, I always learn something.
So these guys are going to join me, and the reason I asked these two guys in here is because we got Travis, who does a lot of public land hunting, and then Judd and I are private land, owners and hunters for the most part as well.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Hey, it is super bright in here, but not anymore that I got my Wiley X sunglasses on. So happy National Sunglasses Day, everybody. And what a perfect brand to talk about during this event. And man, these are super comfortable. I really like these. So again, Wiley X sunglasses are on sale today, 20% off. It's in-store and online. I was just notified of that. So Wiley X is one of those brands I really don't have to tell you about. The cool thing, they have been really, really well known. And the cool thing about Wiley X is they were known as a safety glasses. So they kind of got their start. The cool thing when I was researching this is their slogan is they were born on the battlefield to protect those who protect us. That is a veteran-owned company here, and I want to make sure I get this right. So it is established 1987, family-owned company founded by U.S. veteran Miles Freeman Sr. with a focused determination to create the world's best protective gear for those who protect our country. So, I mean, he really, really thought of it, and they're not afraid to say that with the Wiley X brand, they're one of the only companies in the world, I'm talking the world, to exceed occupational safety standards. So, like we talked about with the ducket rods, Jacob Wheeler, there's a lot of high-end bass fishing anglers, but Jacob Wheeler is one of those anglers that really loves the Wiley X brand. And the nice thing about Wiley X is they have a lens, they have a frame for everybody out there, whether it's, you know, I'm looking for a narrow frame, I have this size head, this shape head, whatever it may be, there is a Wiley X frame out there for you. And the nice thing about the Wiley X is they qualify, they're the ANSI standards, right? That is one thing with safety wise you have to pay attention to. If you are a first responder, if you are a vet of military, if you know, out in those areas, you need to be concerned about the safety for your eyes. There's tens of thousands of eye-related accidents that happen daily in the United States alone. So this is one thing I think that people kind of forget about when they're working with, you know, machines or materials. Or one thing for me is like cutting wood. This is, you know, having a high-end pair of sunglasses or a high-end protective pair of sunglasses or glasses in general to protect your eyes when you're cutting wood. I mean, as we get into this latter part of summer here and start getting into fall in the Midwest, a lot of people are burned wood, right? You don't need to skimp on the protection. You protect your ears, why not protect your eyes? There's been times where I wasn't thinking right. I got some wood chips in my eye. Next thing you know, I got a slight scratch on my lens of my eye. I don't want to have to worry about that. And with the Wiley X brand, their main focus is on safety. Plus, they stand behind their product. So, you know, they actually have, if you go under their website, they're going to have a warranty. If there's any questions, you know, within 60 days, they'll help take care of you and look to get you a full refund. But you got to contact Wiley X for that situation. With the 1987 was a creation, right? It actually started in a basement, and it's a family-owned company. I was, you know, there's paying attention to their website. There's some information out there. They work. It's fathers, it's sons, it's brothers, it is friends, it is family, it is cousins that all work right there at Wiley X. So you know that they love to work together. They still have that small company mentality there, where the main focus is making sure that you, the users, the wearers of these glasses, are really, really happy with it. So to me, this is our TRS real deal of the day at 20% off all Wiley X products in store and online. This is the opportune time to take advantage of it. I mean, we talked about MATES, the ANSI Z87 standards for optical clarity. They have the polarized lenses. If you're a fisherman, they have, you know, if you talk about the prescription style lenses, they can help you with that. The frames are lightweight as well. I'm trying on a couple of the framing here, and they fit really, really nice. You know, depending on what your head is shaped like these fit really, really nicely to my head. They're lightweight. I don't feel like I'm going to get a whole lot of fatigue to the head on this. Aaron says I look like the Terminator. Well, I'll be back with some more savings. So, like, here we go. We got another one. The captive. That was one I wanted to get into. The captive technology on some of the lenses. It's an Holy man, here I'm going to go back into that oleophobic properties. So basically the long story short, with that captive technology that are on some of the frames, it makes the lenses smoother. So what happens is when the lenses are smoother like that, you have less dust, less dirt, less water, less things that stick to the actual lenses, which in turn is going to help lessen the chance that they're going to be scratched. The other nice thing is when they put that material on there, it's going to add to, you know, the water resistance too. So like it's going to stream off the frames. That's one thing you really didn't think about when you're talking about, you know, your safety glasses or your glasses in general, right? But the more dust and dirt that sticks to these, whether it's inside or outside, the higher the chances are that's going to get scratched on up. So think about those kind of things when you're looking for your lenses. I had another note on here that I wanted to, oh, here we go. So it's the Bayer 7 rating. So Bayer is the ratings for the scratch resistance. So they get these lenses here that have that coating to them, that Captiva coating is a 7. So anything 4 or higher equates to a premium coating. So at that price, whether, you know, whatever style and frame you're looking at, if it has that material to it, you're going to get a scratch resistant. It's a premium coating. It is the ultimate setup for safety wise. But the Wiley X brand, shooters, workers, first responders, military, we talked about it, you know, a lot. This is a premium glass and on sale right now in store and online. 20% off all frames, all lenses from Wiley X, whether it's in store or online, for National Sunglasses Day. To protect your eyes from the sun, protect them from, you know, whatever you may do work-wise. If you work with your hands, if you're out in the field, if you're a farmer, if you do anything that requires you to be out of doors, you know, the dust, the dirt, the moisture, all that stuff, protect your eyes. Find the frame, find the stylings that you want. And if you do have any questions, this is probably a good time to hit up the staff at The Real Shot. Check out the Real Shot website. Obviously you have to in order to order some of these glasses, but you know, get some opinions from some of the staff. Check out some of the testimonials on the Wiley X website. There's a lot of people that believe in the Wiley X products for their day-to-day activities and for working that you know, you may have not thought about. So TRS real deal of the day, 20% off all Wiley X. So right now, normal prices from some of these are about $159.99 to $199 right now. You take that 20% off, that drops them down to about $130 to about $180 on some quality glasses that they're going to stand behind too. So if you do have any questions on, you know, any warranty situations, go to the Wiley X website. They would love to help take care of you. And this is one thing too, where if you were looking at upgrading your sunglasses for the summer going into the, you know, winter time, right now is the time, because we're going to save you 20% on all Wiley X. So a good show again today, everybody. Another exciting Monday here at TRS Live. I appreciate those who watched, and if you wouldn't mind, do us a favor, share this. Tell your friends. I know there's a lot of you out there that have already told people about Wiley X, but TRS Live, and we do appreciate that. Some of the sales that we've been getting, you know, have been very, very nice, and this just helps support The Real Shot. It helps support you by allowing us to bring you more and better products on TRS Live. So if you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe, comment, do all that kind of stuff. Tell everybody right now is a really good time. And something like this with 4th of July creeping up really quick is going to be the perfect, whether it's a gift or just the perfect sunglasses situation for yourself for 4th of July. So we're going to be back here again on Wednesday. I do have a very special guest coming in here on Wednesday. One of those products we're going to be talking about is Get Bit Baits, and Dan Elsner is going to join me on Wednesday morning right away for that product. So we're here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays live overlooking the store of The Real Shot. I know some customers and some people dropped by and they kind of waved to me standing up here in the window. I do appreciate that. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we're live in here starting at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody, and I will see you Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock.